Hello everyone, welcome to What If Naruto Fell in Love with Erza movie. Before we start, please go support marioiale for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Naruto is a male. Naruto and Erza fall in love. One shots. Naruto was finishing packing some clothes into a backpack as he prepared to leave the village for a well-deserved vacation. As a reward for his victory of killing Obito and Madara in the recent Fourth Shinobi World War, Tsunade had given Naruto a full week of vacation to a place called Magnolia Town in the Kingdom of Fiori, and Naruto would be spending his vacation staying at a place called Fairy Tail. Well, that's about it, Naruto said as he placed the backpack on his back and left the village. After using his tail beast mode to save time, he soon arrived at the Kingdom of Fiori and very soon arrived at Magnolia Town. Naruto knew that Magnolia Town was a city with a population of 60,000, and was a merchant city that has been prosperous in magic since the ancient era. Knowing that, Naruto began to make his way towards what was considered the strongest magic guild in Fiori, Fairy Tail. Well, here it is, Fairy Tail, Naruto said upon arriving at the guild before entering the place. What he saw next came as a complete surprise to him. Several people who looked to be around the same age as him were currently engaged in an all-out brawl. Naruto watched in disbelief as the action unfolded in front of his very eyes. Is it always this hectic here? Naruto wondered aloud to himself. No, not really, this is quite normal behavior for us, a female voice said, and Naruto turned around and was greeted by the sight of a slim young woman of below-average height. She had long white hair that curled slightly at the ends, with two bangs that framed her face and reached down to her chest, and a short, upturned ponytail obtained by gathering and tying the hair that covered her forehead. She had large blue eyes and a voluptuous, curvy body with large breasts. So this is normal for you guys, huh? Naruto asked in an amused tone. I'm sure it is. By the way, I'm Mary Jane Strauss. You must be Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the girl known as Mary Jane said, and Naruto nodded affirmatively. Well, Naruto, let me be the first to welcome you to Fairy Tail. If you need anything, just ask, Mary Jane said. Thanks, Mary Jane. I feel right at home now. So, do you think we should stop this or something? Naruto suggested. I already took care of Naruto, Mary Jane said just as the fight was interrupted by a strong wave of telekinetic energy. Enough, everyone, a woman's voice shouted. Naruto turned and was treated to the sight of the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. She was a young woman with long, scarlet hair and brown eyes. She possessed a slender figure that Naruto could only describe as amazing, and like most of the women in the guild apparently, she had large breasts. Natsu, Gray, can't you two go a damn day without starting a guild fight? The red-haired woman asked angrily. Well, he started it, two boys replied, looking at each other. No matter who started it, you two need to learn to get along. Especially considering we have a guest in the guild. He gestured, causing everyone's attention to turn to him. Whoa, no way, that's... One of the boys started to say. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, hero of the most recent Shinobi World War, and the future 6th Hokage of Konohagakure. He is here on vacation in Fiori for the next week and will be staying here at the guild at the invitation of Master Makarov. So I suggest everyone be on their best behavior, the woman explained to the guild. Well, it's not often we have someone of such high status here in the guild, but it's great to have you here nonetheless. I'm Gojo Red Fox, the Iron Dragon Slayer, said one of the boys. Gojo was a tall, muscular young man with long, spiky black hair, which he kept slicked back, leaving his forehead exposed. He had red eyes with no visible eyebrows and metal studs covering most of his exposed body and face. It's an honor to meet you, Naruto-sama. My name is Juvia Loxer, said a slender young woman with blue hair that fell wavy to her shoulders, dark blue eyes, pale skin and a curvaceous figure. It's good to have you here at Fairy Tail, Naruto, named Kana Alberona, said a tall, slender, and busty young woman. She has long, brown hair that reaches the middle of her back, with two long strands of hair that frame her face and reach below her shoulders, with the left strand forming a high, prominent fringe. She also had brown eyes and a very voluptuous figure, with large breasts and curvy hips. It's nice to have a bit of royalty here in Fairy Tail. I'm Laxus Dreyer, Lightning Dragon Slayer, And I'm also the grandson of Makarov, said a very tall and muscular young man with orange eyes and spiky blonde hair slicked back. He also had a distinctive lightning bolt-shaped scar over his right eye. And my name is Wendy Marvel, Sky Dragon Slayer, said a shy, petite young woman with long, dark blue hair that reached her waist and two bangs framing her face that reached her chest and brown eyes. Welcome to Fairy Tale Naruto, I'm Lucy Hartfilia, said a young woman with brown eyes and shoulder-length blonde hair that she kept tied with ribbons in a variety of colors in a small ponytail on the right side of her head with the rest of her hair loose. She had large breasts and a curvy body. Sorry, my name is Grateful Buster, by the way, said one of the two young men who had been punished for starting the fight. His most notable feature was his spiky black hair. He also had dark blue eyes and his body was toned and muscular. Like I said before, I'm Mary Jane, just let me know if you need anything. Oh, by the way, this is my brother Elfman, Mary Jane said, pointing to a large, muscular man with tan-colored skin, whose height made him tower over most of his fellow guild members. He had long, white hair styled upwards into long, wavy spikes, and his dark eyes possessed no visible eyebrows, and his long, rectangular face had a stitched scar running down its right side, crossing over his right eye. And I'm Erza Scarlet, please forgive us for that. That's not really the first impression we wanted you to have of us, said the redhead named Erza. Okay, anyway, this is pretty common for me, Naruto said. Common, you mean people do this all the time where you're from? Lucy said in surprise. Well, not all the time, but with all the hot-headed tempers we have in Konoha, there's bound to be some, should we say, healthy competition every now and then, Naruto explained, causing all the fairy tale mages to burst out laughing. So this guy is supposed to be a powerful war hero. He doesn't seem that tough to me, said the young man who had been fighting Gray. He was a slim, muscular young man of average height with a slightly tan skin tone, black eyes, and spiky pink hair. Unfortunately, Naruto heard him. I'm guessing you must be Natsu Dragneel, the Fire Dragon Slayer. Word of advice, don't let your mouth hang out, right? Checks your ass can't cash, Naruto said menacingly. Natsu's right, don't pick fights with someone you don't even know anything about, Lucy warned. Please, I bet all the stories you've heard about this guy are just a bunch of old wives' tales. So what do you say, war hero? Do you mind proving me wrong? Natsu challenged. You know, tough guys like you are usually the ones who leave their blood all over the battlefield. If you're so convinced you can beat me, why don't we take this outside? Naruto made overtures and Natsu gladly accepted as he followed Naruto out of the guild along with everyone else who decided to come out and see Natsu and the blonde war hero in action. Well, you can't say I didn't warn you, Lucy sighed. Take it easy, Lucy. I'm sure Naruto won't hurt Natsu too much. He'll probably just rough him up a bit. I'm personally looking forward to seeing what he can do, Kana said. Me too. I can't wait to see if the stories about this guy are true, Gojo said, interested. I agree, come on Namikaze, show us how powerful you are, Laxus thought to himself as Natsu and Naruto faced each other and prepared to fight. Ready to make this war hero, Natsu said. Take your best shot, Fire Dragon Slayer, or as we like to say in Konoha, just bring it, bitch, Naruto said, and Natsu immediately charged at him. Fire Dragon's Iron Fist! Natsu shouted as he engulfed his right fist in flames and aimed a heavy punch at Naruto. But before it could touch him, Naruto summoned his chakra chains that he had finally learned how to use and used them to not only block Natsu's attack, but then wrap them around his fist and used them to send him flying into a wall. As Natsu recovered, Naruto charged at him with his Sage mode activated and began beating the hell out of Natsu using the frog kata style. The rest of the fairy tale mages watched in awe as Naruto delivered a powerful 20-hit combo to Natsu that ended with him launching him into the air with a kick, just before finishing him off with a powerful big ball Rasengan to the back that KO'd Natsu. All of Natsu's guildmates watched in stunned silence as Naruto quickly landed on his feet next to the unconscious Natsu before looking to see if he was okay. Well, I'm done now, guess you weren't much of a challenge after all, Naruto said as the other guild members continued to stare at Naruto in amazement before Mary Jane finally spoke. That was amazing, Mary Jane said. I've never seen Natsu hit so easily. He really didn't even stand a chance, Lucy said in shock before going to help the unconscious and injured Natsu in the infirmary. Tell me about it, Blondie. This guy really is the real deal, Gojo said, impressed as Naruto approached them. So what did you guys think? Are you convinced now? Naruto asked. We certainly are. I must say, Naruto, you are just as powerful as I thought you were, Laxus said. This isn't power, Laxus, it's strength, and as a great sage once told me, power is not the same as strength. Those who don't understand that could never hope to defeat me, Naruto said. That's very true, Naruto, and for the record, you certainly have a lot of strength, Erza said. I will say that this guy's strength is simply terrifying, and I am a brave man, Elfman said. You know what's really scary? I wasn't even fighting at my full strength even then, Naruto said. What, are you saying it wasn't even your strongest attack? Gray asked in shock. No, I actually held back during that fight, Naruto said honestly, causing everyone's eyes to widen in surprise. Then, suddenly, a smile appeared on Laxus's face. Well then, if that's the case, then what do you say you and I have a battle and see what you can really do? Laxus suggested before Erza raised a hand to stop him with a smile on her face. Wait, let me have it. With my strength, I think if anyone can push him to his limits in a battle, it's me, Erza said. I agree with that statement. So what do you think, Naruto? Kana said, and Naruto smiled. Well, I always like a good challenge, so why not? Let's do this. Naruto eagerly agreed. That's what I like to hear. Now come on, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, show me what you can do. Don't hold back, Erza said as she headed to the other side of the guild courtyard to face Naruto. All right, Erza, get ready, because here I come. This is going to be very exciting, Naruto said before going on the attack with his tailed beast mode activated and his flaming ghostly trench coat. Britney Spears' Circus starts playing. Let's play, Naruto, Erza said with a smile before putting her armor back into her Heaven Wheel armor and attacking Naruto with her pentagram sword attack. Naruto quickly responded by bringing out his chakra blades and channeling Kurama's chakra into them before using his superior speed to dodge her 5 slashes and quickly beginning an offensive assault of his own. Wow, he's fast, but I'll soon fix him, Erza thought to herself before using her flight armor again, giving her advanced speed and allowing her to match his speed. The two began an intense sword battle. The rest of the guild watched in awe as Naruto and Erza went blow for blow. Soon, Naruto and Erza moved away from each other as Erza put back on her Lightning Empress armor before attacking him with her Lightning Beam attack. To counter it, Naruto quickly began preparing his signature and arguably most powerful technique, making sure to use some of Kurama's chakra to make it stronger. Futon Raisin Shuriken, Wind Release, Spiral Shuriken, Naruto shouted before launching a wind-infused Rasengan at Erza that took the appearance of a giant Fuma Shuriken, with the Rasengan at the center being a perfect sphere. Erza watched in shock as the technique pierced through her lightning and was forced to quickly move out of the way to avoid the attack. He must be a wind user, Juvia said as she and the rest of her guildmates looked on in shock. That explains why he never used that attack against Natsu, Gojo said. What do you mean, Gojo? Wendy asked, confused. That means Naruto didn't use that attack on Natsu because fire is fueled by wind energy, Kana explained to Wendy. Correct, but it's strong against lightning energy because wind is a natural conductor of lightning, Laxus said. Good, and if that's the case, then I think the armor Erza should use next should be her Flame Empress armor, Gray said, and almost as if on cue, Erza put her fire armor back on just as Gray guessed and readied his sword for his flame slash attack to end this battle. In response to this, Naruto brought out his chakra blades and charged them with Kurama's chakra, knowing that his next blows would be his last. Naruto and Erza, after charging their swords, charged each other and ran side by side, slashing at each other in a crisscrossing motion. The two stood still for a few seconds before falling to their knees, tired and exhausted, with Erza reverting to her Heart Cruise armor and Naruto turning off his Tail Beast mode. You're pretty good, Erza said, panting. Thanks, you have some impressive fighting techniques, Naruto said as he panted as well just before Erza extended her hand to him. Fine, let's call it a tie, Erza said, smiling, and Naruto smiled back before taking her hand as she helped him to his feet. That was impressive for you too, Lucy said, having watched the fight from the middle of the speed fight. I'll say, You know it's one thing to beat a dragon slayer as quickly as you did, but to fight Fairy Tail's toughest S-class mage to a draw in such impressive fashion, that's hard to accomplish. Mary Jane said. Wait a second, you mean you're the strongest mage in this guild? Naruto asked. Well, they don't call her Titania for all you know. Gray joked. Whoa, wait a minute, so you're the legendary fairy queen I've heard all these stories about? Naruto asked Erza in amazement. The one and only, and by the way, for the record, you're the first guy who's ever pushed me to my limits like this. I have to say, I'm impressed. Erza said, and Naruto smiled at her. Thanks, Erza, I have to say, aside from Sakura and Grandma Tsunade, you are definitely the toughest woman I have ever faced. You took all of my strongest attacks, and even though you are a little beaten up, you are still standing. Naruto said. Speaking of which, how come you've apparently healed so quickly, Naruto-sama? Juvia asked out of curiosity. Well, I can thank my friend Kurama for that. Naruto said. You mean that huge fox inside you? Gajeel asked. That's the one. Naruto said. Well, look at that, it's already nighttime. I'd better head back to my apartment tonight, Lucy said before leaving for her apartment. That reminds me, Naruto, where exactly are you going to stay during your visit here? Kana asked him. Well, that's the thing, I haven't found a place to stay yet. Naruto said. Then you can stay with me. Erza said, surprising everyone, especially Mary Jane, who would never have expected Erza to say such a thing. Oh, I couldn't possibly impose myself, Naruto said, raising a hand in polite declination. Nonsense, you can stay with me until it's time to return to your homeland. Also, consider this your reward for pushing me to the limit in our battle, Erza said with a wink. Well then, if it's okay with you, I accept, Naruto said with a smile. Good to know, now come with us and I'll show you my place, Erza said before leading Naruto to her place as Mary Jane watched them leave. You two have fun together, Mary Jane thought to herself with a smile before heading home with her brother. Naruto followed Erza back to her house, and after enjoying a nice dinner, the two sat down and talked about their childhoods since neither of them felt tired. Erza felt her heart tug as she listened to Naruto recount how the people of his village rejected him as a child and how he was able to overcome it through the bonds and friendships he had made throughout his life. Erza had never truly met anyone like Naruto. She was so amazed at how charismatic and cheerful he was. His personality was truly addictive, and she was really becoming addicted to the Orange Hokage of Konoha. Erza didn't know Naruto felt the same way about her. Naruto couldn't deny that there was something in the pit of his stomach the first time he saw her. She was the most beautiful, caring, and intelligent woman he'd ever seen. She was truly the perfect woman for him. And as he talked to her, he began to ponder a relationship with the beautiful redhead. Well, Naruto, it's getting late, we'd better get some rest, Erza finally said after talking to Naruto for a while. You're right, Erza, where am I going to sleep? Naruto asked. Why don't you sleep with me, Naruto? Erza said, and that surprised Naruto. Erza, are you sure? Naruto asked. I don't see any reason why not, so what do you say, Naruto-kun? Erza said, and Naruto blushed slightly at his new honorific. Very well then, Erza-chan, Naruto replied, and Erza smiled at their respective honorific. Soon, Naruto and Erza fell fast asleep with Erza's head resting on Naruto's muscular chest and Naruto's arm wrapped around Erza's slender body. Over the course of the next week, Naruto and Erza spent much of their time together. Every night, Erza slept with Naruto, holding her as lovingly as she had the first night she invited him to her home. She enjoyed every moment she spent with Naruto, feeling the same emotions she used to feel with Jalao's presence, and growing to adore him. Anyone who saw Erza and Naruto would smile at the pair, happy that her friend had finally found someone who could make her happy. With every moment they spent together, the two grew to love and appreciate each other. Little did they know that before the end of the week, an event would happen that would change their lives forever. Oh, Naruto-kun! Erza called out to Naruto from her bathhouse, and he looked over to see Erza relaxing in her hot tub and smiled at how beautiful she looked with the water making her pale skin glow radiantly. Take off your clothes and join me for a nice hot bath, Naruto-kun, Erza said, and that made Naruto blush seeing him naked, and she laughed at his shyness. Come on, don't be shy, Naruto-kun, Erza said in an almost seductive manner, as she slightly swayed her bust to entice him. It worked as Naruto removed his clothes, leaving his toned and muscular form completely revealed, and Erza licked her lips at the sight of what she thought was his perfect body before joining her in the water. "How are you feeling, Naruto-kun?" Erza asked, noticing the relaxed look on Naruto's face as soon as she entered the hot tub. "With you here, I feel very good, Erza-chan," Naruto replied. "It's good to hear, Naruto-kun," Erza said with a smile before placing herself on Naruto's lap and giving him the most passionate kiss he'd ever had in his life. Naruto's mind went completely blank and his eyes rolled back. He couldn't believe such an attractive woman was sitting on his lap kissing him. "Erza-chan, what are you doing?" Naruto said when Erza finally broke the kiss, only for Erza to laugh at his shyness. "Well, I think that's pretty obvious, Naruto-kun. I lured you here because I thought you'd be willing to have some fun with me," Erza said with a smile. "Erza-chan, don't you think we're moving a little fast? I mean, we just met after all?" Naruto said before Erza kissed him again. "Well, I don't hear you complaining. Besides, I love you, Naruto-kun, and I really want this. And I know you want it too," Erza said, and Naruto looked at Erza with a longing and hungry look in his eyes before wrapping his arms around Erza's slim waist and kissing her. "Of course I want it. It's just a little new to me, that's all," Naruto said huskily as the two lovers smiled at each other before kissing once more, this time with more passion and fever than the previous kisses. Lemon skipped. "Thank you, Naruto-kun," Erza said. "So Erza-chan?" Naruto asked. "For loving me, Naruto-kun," Erza said with a smile, and Naruto smiled back as the two allowed sleep to overtake them. Years later at the Hokage mansion, Erza was sitting in the living room of the Hokage mansion reading a copy of Jiraiya's latest book, Ica Paradise, which Naruto was surprised Erza liked so much. Sleeping soundly in Erza's lap was a beautiful bundle of a little girl with red hair and cerulean eyes beneath her eyelids. Since that magical night a few years ago, Erza decided to return to Konoha with Naruto so she could be with the man who filled her heart with so much joy. Her guildmates were sad to see her go, but at the same time, they were also happy that Erza had found someone she loved and who loved her back. A few months after moving to Konoha, Naruto and Erza got married, and many months later, Erza gave birth to a baby girl. Even though she now lived in Konoha, her guildmates would come visit her whenever possible, and she and Naruto would also visit Fairy Tail whenever they could. "How is our little girl, Erza-chan?" Naruto, now the 6th Hokage, asked his beautiful wife. "She fell asleep, Naruto-kun," Erza said, and Naruto smiled at his beautiful daughter. "You know, you're right, Erza-chan. Maya-chan really has your good looks," Naruto said as he watched his daughter grow into a cute young lady when she grew up. "Yes, but maybe I'll have your energy someday," Erza said with a smile, before getting up and placing her daughter in her crib before joining her husband in bed for the night. One shots 2. Naru Erza, heal my broken heart. Erza, I love you. Dialogue. Why, Naruto, why can't I stop thinking about you? What have you done to me? Thought. I love Erza Scarlet. Scream. One shot or prologue. Please heal my broken heart. This place is empty. We see people coming and going through the streets of the town hidden among the leaves, laughing, joking, having a good time, everyone except one person. War is cruel and despicable, but when it takes away the person you were in love with without knowing it is indescribable. For Naruto Uzumaki, 2 years have passed since the end of the 4th Great Ninja War, and its consequences have been passing with time. There were many shinobi who died in this, but they achieved what many wished for, true peace in the world. Everyone enjoyed the new peace, but as we said, Naruto Uzumaki cannot be happy. Flashback. During the course of the war it happened, in the stage that Naruto faced with the ninjas of the Alliance to the feared Jubi controlled by Obito Uchiha and Madara Uchiha. Naruto was fighting with everything he had to the great beast, but it was very powerful even for all the ninjas when the Jubi by order of Obito and Madara counterattacked with wooden spears that were piercing a large part of the ninjas. Naruto tried to protect his friends, but by a last attack of Rasen Shuriken was exhausted to be able to dodge a spear that was going directly towards him. Naruto managed to see how in slow motion a person he knew very well got between the spear and him. It was Hinata Hyuga, the girl who called him strange but still loved her as one of her special people. Naruto could not get over the shock of seeing the shy Hyuga giving her life again. For him, Hinata had just been pierced by the wooden spear and then it expanded, destroying all the internal organs of the shy Hyuga. Naruto carried her. No, he stopped asking for help. He just saw how little by little his eyes were closing and saying the last words to his great platonic love before leaving this world. Naruto-kun, don't cry please, I will always be with you. Everyone here counts on you, I have always believed in you, I knew you would be the magnificent person you are now. Never give up and don't go back on your word, after all it is your ninja path just like mine. Why Hinata, why don't you hesitate for a second to come save me, why? Naruto couldn't hold back. He cried and cried because he saw again how one of his most precious people was giving her life for him without hesitation. Because I love you with all my heart. I would have liked for us to get married and have a family, but now I see that as impossible. Hinata also felt her life slipping away every second, but she shouldn't leave without giving her beloved the confidence to move forward, even without her, and end this war. Naruto, hearing how she loved him, understood that it was not the affection he understood that time from one of his best friends. It was not that of a couple who wants to live the rest of their lives together. Naruto-kun, everyone is counting on you to win this battle and end this war. I know you'll be able to do it. After all, you're the most wonderful person I've ever met, which is why I love you so much. Please be happy, even if it's not with me. Find someone who loves you like I love you. With those last words, Hinata closed her eyes, never to open them again. Hinata, 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 don't leave me please, I love you too, please don't leave me, love please. Naruto was inconsolable. The only person who had always loved him apart from his parents was in his arms, dead, cold. Every time he saw how little by little her skin took on a duller color, showing that Hinata Hyuga had died. I told you, Naruto, no one can be happy in this cursed world, but not all is lost. Join me. Together we will activate the infinite Tsukumi, and together we will save this world. You just have to come with me. Naruto's vision was obscured by his hair. He approached the forehead of the deceased Hyuga, placing a farewell kiss, then delicately placed her body on the ground. After hearing Obito's words, Naruto stood up and began to walk slowly where he was. Those of the Alliance thought that he would accept their deal and all hope would be lost, but, damn, you will pay for this. I will never forgive you for taking my Hinata away from me. After that heartbreaking scream, Naruto transformed into Kurama, and without caring about anything he launched himself against the Jubi. With a great leap he managed to place himself on top of him, and, Kurama, what was that jutsu you didn't want us to use because it was too risky? The seal of absorption of the Reapers. Since you had it locked up in me with the seal, in theory we could open it to be able to absorb the Jubi. But afterwards it will try to take control. You will have to have a great will to be able to control it. I won't lose anyone else no matter what happens to me. Absorption of the Reaper imprised soul. After those words, Naruto began to absorb the Jubi into the seal of his stomach. Everyone just saw how the so-feared demon disappeared from the eyes of the Alliance. Obito and Madara did not believe what they saw. The boy Naruto had just ruined their plans, and with his new power either of them would put up a fight. After absorbing the Jubi, Naruto began to change. His body turned white and his clothes took the form of a white and black kimono with 6 tomos on the neck and 9 on the back with the Rinnegan on it. Everyone did not believe what had happened. The young Naruto had taken control of the most feared beast that the world had seen. With his new power that overflowed from Naruto, he turned to the main causes of his suffering. Obito did not look very affected, but if we looked closely he was sweating, and Madara even looked like a zombie. He was afraid. After Naruto opened his eyes, they had the shape of the Kyuubi with a line in the middle simulating a cross, but it only showed power. You are the greatest disgrace this world has ever seen, and you must be eliminated. After that, 9 black spheres emerged behind Naruto. Madara, we have to extract the Jubi so that I can become his Jinchuriki. Madara just looked amused. Whoever said you would be the Jinchuriki? Behind him emerged Black Zetsu, taking control of Obito's body. Zetsu, what are you doing? Let me go. You've already lost your importance, Obito. It's time for Madara-sama to revive so he can take charge personally. After saying that and some hand positions, we see how smoke began to come out of Madara, showing that he was back in the world of the living, while Zetsu tears the Rinnegan and Sharingan from Obito's body, and this went to Madara, placing them in him, imprinting them on him. Finally, Naruto, it's time for the dance. More than 2 hours of fighting passed and Sasuke and the Hokages arrived at the battlefield to help in the battle, but now it only depended on 2 men. Then the other 5 Kages arrived and asked to know what happened. Everyone narrated that Naruto took control of the Jubi and was fighting on equal terms against Madara, even though Naruto had a great advantage. After that, everyone saw in the distance how Madara's body fell lifeless. with a large hole where his heart had once been. After a slightly fatigued Naruto used a Raisin Shuriken that he pointed at the Uchiha's inert body to destroy it, and leave no traces that he ever existed. The entire alliance was having a great party, except for our Rubio. This victory cost him a lot, and he didn't know what to do. Findel flashed back. After the end of the war, both Sasuke and Orochimaru and those involved spent some time in detention, but after their support during the war was proven, they were released. The Jubi inside Naruto was divided again, thus releasing the other Bijus. The statue was destroyed and the Bijus went to live on Turtle Island, while Shikaku and Juki were with their respective Jinchurikis and Kurama stayed with our depressed blonde, now with his full power, since Minato gave his other half to Naruto so that Kurama would be one again. A week after the funerals of those who fell in the war, there was a big party in all the nations to celebrate the new era of peace that was coming. Our blonde, after the stories and his battles during the war, became the most desired man worldwide. The daughters of the daimyos begged their parents to get engaged to Naruto, as did a large number of kunoichis and civilians, but Naruto was not in the mood for this. Naruto daily rejected countless women who even came from other villages and towns, even if it was to see the blonde. For Naruto, all those people only looked for him for his fame and now his body, because according to the female population he had become the most attractive. Nobody looked for him who was the only person who saw him for him and not for the title of hero. It was his beloved Hyuga who had left us. Now Naruto walked calmly through the village towards the Akimichi barbecue since his friends wanted to celebrate his 19th birthday, but he wasn't very fond of parties, but he didn't want them to worry. The rookies, now even Sasuke who was back, was waiting for him for his party. After the war, what he didn't believe to see was that even Ino and Tenten tried to have something with him. He knew that they grabbed him to try to help him overcome his loss, but he thanked them for their intention but rejected it. Sakura, only when she saw him, hugged him, giving words of encouragement to everyone. She was hurt by Hinata's death, but they knew that Naruto was devastated and needed someone to heal that heart. Earthland, the Sky Tower. We see Natsu Dragnel giving the final blow to Jero Fernandez, defeating him in a titanic battle. Alongside him was Erza Scarlet, crying at what she saw. Her first friend and her first love must have been dead after having received the attack from the Dragnel. She remembered how she met him and his support he gave her in the Tower of Heaven, but then all those beautiful moments of support were replaced by a crazy Jero who threatened to kill her and her friends. We see how Jero ended up defeated, but the tower could not bear the fight and it was about to explode. She, feeling that it was her fault, had no choice but to let herself be absorbed by the giant lacrima to save her friends. She could only hear Natsu's screams not to do it, but she wanted to save everyone no matter what. She hoped they were happy. Forests, outside Konoha. After his party and meal, Naruto said goodbye to all his friends and went for a walk in the forest. It was his way of relaxing. It had been 2 years since he had lost her, but he remembered that he had to move on. But he didn't know how. After discovering all those feelings that he had known, he thought he couldn't bear that pain, but Naruto directs his gaze to the sky to see a red-haired girl falling from a blue hole that opened in the sky. Naruto, with a quick jump, managed to capture her before she crashed to the ground. Naruto, after seeing that she was unconscious and seeing some small injuries, knew he had to help her. Then he would find out where she came from. With that thought, he headed back to the town in the direction of the hospital to have the beautiful woman treated. Konoha Hospital. In a hospital room, we see 6 people in a room. A beautiful red-haired woman resting in bed covered by a blue hospital gown. Next to her is our blonde holding her hand, while with the other hand he touched her hair. It was very beautiful, like his mother's. In front of the bed we see Naruto's teammates from Team 7's Sasuke, Sakura and Sai with their teacher, now Hokage Kakashi Hatake. So Naruto, how did you come across this young lady? As I told you, sensei, I was taking my walk in the forest outside the north gate when I saw that in the sky a hole formed like when you use your kamui, but this one was white and blue and out of it came this girl. Those present found it hard to believe, but after seeing that Naruto had practically become a god by being Jinchuriki of the Jubi and Kurama, they knew that in this crazy world everything was possible. So if it was true, this girl did not belong to this world. Everyone saw how little by little Erza was waking up. She could barely open her eyes when she saw a blonde hair with a sculpted face that she couldn't make out well because her vision was still blurry. She didn't realize that the boy was taking her left hand and she was squeezing it tighter. Natsu, are you? Where are we? After clearing her vision, she realized it wasn't Natsu but a blonde boy with blue eyes with 3 curious marks on each cheek and a thin face. She looked down to see that he or she didn't know he was holding her hand and felt a sensation of heat in her chest and on her face. She didn't know if it was from embarrassment or anger. "Excuse me, miss, for not being who you are looking for. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I found you outside in the forest when I saw that you came out of some kind of portal or hole. Could you tell me about yourself?" Erza blinked again and again. The boy was very polite and courteous. She blushed when he called her miss and gave her a smile. She didn't know why she felt very comfortable with him. "My name is Erza Scarlet. I am a magician from the Fairy Tale Guild. The last thing I remember was being absorbed by a lacrima crystal to prevent it from exploding and save my friends." "Oh, I didn't expect that. So you're telling me you're a magician, so that's why I feel like your energy is different from the one we use here." "Excuse me, like the one we use here?" "Yes, I regret to tell you that it is located in Konoha in the Land of Fire within the Elemental Nations, and from what you have told me I deduce that you are not from around here." "How then, where am I? I don't understand." Erza began to shed a few tears from her left eye and covered her eyes with her hands, releasing the pain of not knowing where she was. She was going to continue crying when she felt 2 large, strong arms wrap around her, pulling her into a big hug while with her right hand she rubbed her back to calm her down. "Calm down, I'm here for you. Everything will be okay. We'll find a way to help you so you can return home. Please don't cry. It hurts me to see a beautiful girl like you cry." He said the last part in a whisper, but since she was glued to him she could hear it. Erza didn't know why no one had ever behaved like that with her. She had some memories of Gerald and Natsu, but they didn't transmit as much calm and security as these. Who was this boy that she could feel that she could trust? "Tell us about yourself. I'm sure we'll find a way to help you. I introduce you to my best friends and teacher, Sasuke Uchiha, who I call Team, then my best friend, almost sister, Sakura Haruno. I don't recommend making her angry. Then we have Sai. He's very weird, only reading books about how to have feelings. But he's a great person. And finally my teacher and now leader of the village, Kakashi Hatake." Naruto introduced them one by one. Sasuke wanted to put the dobe in his place, but he just greeted them with a wave of the hand, just like Sai. With a small smile he greeted Sakura and Kakashi with an eye smile. "So tell us where you come from and tell me about yourself." Erza blushed at the last comment. She didn't know why. Just like the blonde, seeing what she had said the same, he blushed. Erza went on to tell her story of how she joined Fairy Tale, how they treated each other like a big family, what their world was like, the different types of magic, the guilds, the council, everything. Those present just listened so attentively, they didn't believe that a world like that existed. It seemed to them a bit similar to ninjas, but they dismissed that when they saw that they were more open. There was no need for a small army and the need to call themselves hidden villages. Naruto found it fascinating. He would love to know his world, and all of Erza's friends seemed like excellent people, in addition to seeing the different types of magic and more. "Don't worry, we'll help you. Meanwhile you'll have to do a test to see if you can still use your magic and if it would give us a clue as to how you could get to your house," Kalashi asked as Erza affirmed, and suddenly a yellow light covered her, changing her clothes to a blue skirt with a white blouse on top, hard armor and black boots. Everyone was surprised by the change. Naruto blushed deeply when he saw Erza's new appearance. She seemed very beautiful, especially with that beautiful red hair. "Perfect," Naruto whispered, but as Erza was nearby she could hear his comment, and had a small blush on her serious face. "This magic is called the Night Requip. It allows me to bring weapons and armor from my pocket dimension." "Excuse me if you say they are from your dimension, where this pocket dimension you mention is located, where I live in Fairy Girls, because this is very interesting. So you can transport clothes from here to there. So why don't you try to transport yourself to your room?" "I don't think it's possible. My ability only allows me to transport lifeless objects. I think I have the solution, Naruto." Naruto listened to the conversation. He found Erza's magic incredible and very practical. Then he turned to see his sensei. Seeing that she had a plan, it didn't surprise him. After the Naras, he was classified as the smartest. "Do you remember your father's Hiraishin technique?" "Yes, sensei. I have not yet finished perfecting it. They tell me that it took my father 8 years to complete it. I estimate that I finished it in about 6 months because," after hearing this, Kakashi had a big smile covered by his mask, the presence of his friends. Sasuke understood what his sensei wanted to do. Easy dope, if you manage to finish the technique and master it 100% like your father, you will be able to teleport to wherever your kunais are, whether it be you or whoever is with you. Now Naruto opened his eyes wide. He was thinking of answering his friend from team, but he was right. If he managed to finish the technique, he could help Erza return to her home. But there was a problem, and that was that he didn't know if the technique would have problems traveling in dimensions. You're partly right, team, just like Kakashi-sensei. But taking into account that the jump would be to another dimension, I don't know if I could make it. Erza, upon hearing that Naruto could help her get home, jumped up and gave him a big hug, crashing her face into his armor. I would really appreciate it, Naruto, if you could help me get back to my home. Everyone was shocked when they saw Naruto being crushed by the red-haired girl's armor. After he let go, he managed to compose himself. He approached normally afterwards and hugged Erza tightly. Erza had remained static. She never showed many feelings. Her previous action wanted to show that she liked or loved a person, but this felt comforting. Her chest felt a very comfortable warmth. Never in her life had she felt like that. The warmth that Naruto gave her was indescribable. It made her feel happy, safe, comfortable, and much more. Why, Naruto, why do I feel like this when you hug me? Erza didn't know what to think because she was holding him while Naruto. Why do I feel this way about Erza? She reminds me so much of the only two women who have ever truly loved me, my mother and my beloved Hinata. She resembles them so much. Okay, Naruto, it's decided. While Erza is here, you will be in charge of her. Since you were given your parents' house, I don't think you will have any problems, right? Of course, sensei, I'll take care of it. Come, Erza-chan, you will stay with me while I finish my technique so you can go to your house. Erza was happy Naruto would help her return to her friends while giving her a home to stay while she was in this world. She was happy that she found a person as wonderful as Naruto. Then she heard how he added a Q-chan to his name, and she blushed in embarrassment. She wouldn't admit it, but she liked how he sounded. Of course, Naruto-kun, Erza unconsciously answered him. Naruto was happy with how she called him. Many girls called him the same thing, wanting to flirt with him, but when Erza came, she felt that he said it with true affection. After thinking that, she blushed but didn't take off her big smile. So if you'll excuse us, I have to show Erza-chan around town, and then head to the Uzumaki mansion to give her a room. See you tomorrow, guys. See you later, sensei. Then Erza took Naruto's hand and they left the hospital room together, not before saying goodbye to the blonde's friends and teacher. Look how well the dobe had it hidden. It seems that little by little he is returning to being the irritating blonde that everyone hates and loves. Sasuke saw where his friend went with a smile. He was happy for him. He knew how much he suffered with Hinata's death, and he deserved to find someone to make him happy. Yes, I'm happy for Naruto. I hope this girl can make him very happy, says Sakura happily. Just like Sasuke, she knew what her friend had to suffer, and she hoped that they would finally heal that heart, and it would become what it was before. Interesting, here in my book it says that when there is chemistry, the person smiles around their partner, and vice versa, so it means that Naruto is in love with the redhead. That's right, Sai. Let's hope he's back to his old self and smiles like he did when she was here. He deserves it. With that said by Kakashi, everyone left the room one by one, each taking a different route. Streets of Konoha. Naruto was showing Erza all the points of interest in the city, the Hokage Monument, the Central Park, the shopping area. Erza was lost by the shinobi weapons. They seemed fantastic to her. Naruto bought her a beautiful scarlet red katana. Very beautiful. At first Erza wanted to refuse. She did not want Naruto to spend money on it. But Naruto contradicted her, saying that it was a beautiful gift for a beautiful woman. Erza, with that corny laugh, amused but with a small blush, after leaving the armory that bought some kunai and ninja stars that the blonde was carrying, Erza managed to notice a pastry shop in the distance. Come on, Naruto-kun, invite me a strawberry cake. Naruto found it funny how Erza behaved like a child with a cake. It reminded him of how he got over his bowl of ramen. Naruto was going to say of course when he saw himself pulled by Erza to get to the bakery. He was impatient. After arriving at the bakery, they asked for a table to sit on the terrace. Naruto placed the purchases next to him, and waited for the waitress to come and take their order. Then a beautiful black-haired woman came up to take the order of some customers who had just arrived. When the waitress saw Naruto, her eyes opened wide. She never thought she would ever see the great hero of the elemental nations up close. He seemed more attractive in person, so she tried to get closer to him to flirt with him. hoping she could captivate him with her beauty. "Good afternoon, Naruto-sama. What would you like to order, handsome?" "Not only what's on the menu is available." The girl approached, moving her hips and placing her hands under her breasts to make them bigger. After telling him that, she gave him a flirtatious wink, completely ignoring a red-haired girl who came with the blonde who didn't know why but wanted to jump on this poor girl. "Greetings, miss. Excuse me, but I come with a beautiful escort girl and we would like to order 2 large slices of your best strawberry cake and 2 vanilla milkshakes, please," Naruto answered without flinching from the waitress's actions, making Erza smile smugly, giving the waitress a look of "it's mine." The girl didn't say anything. She got angry that the most handsome man was already away, but it didn't stop her from trying him later. "Okay, Naruto-sama, I'll have your orders in a moment, but if you change your mind and want to be with a real woman, you can find me here," she said, approaching his ear, murmuring the last thing, placing a paper in his jacket and saying goodbye with a wink, then turning to see Erza with daggers in her eyes, and she did the same. "Naruto-kun, what does that paper say?" Erza did manage to see that paper, but she didn't hear the last part. After a real woman, she didn't know why, but she felt very offended and wanted to stop to smash that offered woman's face. "Let's see what it says. Apartment number 9, the Fallen Complex. I'll wait for you after 10. What did you mean? So that you want me?" He didn't finish speaking when he saw that Erza was surrounded by a red aura and her hair was rising against gravity, forming 9 strands that moved as if they were tails. Inside Naruto we saw the most powerful beast that the world had ever seen, of course after the Jubi. Dying of fear for the person who was in front of his container. "My god, Kushina was reborn in Naruto. Run for your life. She is worse than the Jubi when she is angry." "Don't exaggerate, Kurama. Erza-chan is a good person. She's just a little upset, but why? Naruto is so big and you're still just as dense. She's jealous of the girl who flirted with you. She likes you." "Are you sure, Kurama?" "Well, I'll try to talk to her about it later. Bye, Kurama." Erza was a beast. She was even more annoyed by the action of that offered one. As she said, she took Naruto's roll and without them knowing how she set it on fire, and then the ashes were carried away by the wind. "I hope you're not thinking of going, Naruto-kun," Erza said with a sweet smile, very sweet in fact, that it gave Naruto chills. "Of course not, Erza-chan. If she would accept every invitation of that type, she would not leave her house for more than a week." Naruto wanted to imply that many would still invite her out, but Erza understood that they would hesitate for more than a week in bed. After that her mind began to play tricks on her, and she began to imagine her and Naruto in very compromising situations. After thinking, she scolded herself. How could she think like that? She just met him. My god, she is Erza Scarlet Titania, the queen of the fairies. "I hope so. Look, the order has arrived." They turned around to see the waitress with a tray where she placed the cakes and milkshakes on the table. "Enjoy your meal and see you later, handsome." With that said, the waitress said goodbye again with a wink to Naruto, and Erza had to stop herself from jumping on him every time. "Enjoy your meal, Erza-chan." With that, Naruto took the milkshake and drank it with pleasure. "Enjoy, Naruto-kun." Erza began to try the strawberry cake. It strangely tasted a lot like the one she ate in her world, so with great desire she quickly ate her cake. When they both turned to see each other, they saw that Naruto had already finished his milkshake while Erza had already finished her cake. They both agreed to treat each other. Naruto gave Erza some of his cake with his fork, while she offered her some of Naruto's milkshake with her straw. They were both a little blushed but with big smiles, while on a nearby roof they were watched by their friends. "Look, Dobe moves fast. He finally found someone who loves him for the distracted fool that he is. I don't know if you're bad, Sasuke-kun, but I'm happy that Naruto is finally starting to smile like before." "Interesting. My book says that when one carries food and feeds the other in the mouth, it would be a couple." Naruto moves quickly. "I wonder when they will have Hex." He was interrupted by the blow of his pink-haired friend. "Shut up, Sai." With that said, he sent the Anbu member flying until he disappeared in a small light. "Wow, Sakura, one day you'll break Tsunade's record." Sakura blushed a little at her friend's comment, and turned around to see Naruto paying the bill and leaving with Erza towards the mansion, Uzumaki Namake's mansion. After a well-deserved snack, Naruto and Erza arrived at the mansion so that Erza could settle in and rest. After Naruto showed her the place, he placed her next to his room so that they could communicate. Already at night, Erza in her room began to dream of what had recently happened in the tower. The death of her friend at the hands of the one she considered her first love, and the death of this one at the hands of her best friend Natsu. Each memory caused her more pain. She could not save Jero or her friend, Without knowing it, she began to cry loudly, attracting Naruto's attention. Naruto was in his room thinking about how his day was. He didn't expect it to end like this. But he felt very comfortable with Erza's company. On the one hand, she reminded him of Hinata with her sweet smile and that beautiful blush. Naruto didn't want to replace Hinata with Erza. Each one was different, and couldn't replace the other. When he heard Erza start to cry, he left his room to see her that nothing serious happened to her. Upon entering, he saw Erza crying and saying sorry over and over again to a sleeping woman. Naruto quickly approached her, lay down on her bed and hugged her from in front of her. With his right hand he rubbed her back. Erza's cries slowly disappeared until her body calmed down and her expression on her beautiful face was calm again with a small smile. You'll never be alone again. If you need someone to help you overcome this pain, I'm here, just as I know you'll help me overcome mine. Naruto placed a delicate kiss on her forehead. He didn't know, but Erza had woken up a few seconds before and was able to hear what he said. She didn't know why, but she felt that Naruto could understand her and help her overcome the pain in her heart. Thank you very much, Naruto-kun. You're welcome, Erza-chan. Rest. Naruto didn't notice that he answered him, and he still answered. Naruto settled down, hugging Erza by the waist, while Erza rested her head on Naruto's abs while hugging him by the waist. A month and a half later, around Christmas time, Naruto received many letters and gifts from his admirers, making Erza a little angry. He accepted them very politely but said that she should excuse him, but he was already interested in someone else. Erza didn't know why, but she was jealous when she heard Naruto say that he was already interested in someone. That time they had together was the best they had. Both Erza and Naruto both felt for the first time what it was like not to be alone. Both Naruto and Erza had friends. Yes, but they couldn't replace the love of a true family, and when they were together this time they finally felt that love that they both desired without knowing how or why. One night a guy named Tonari tried to kidnap Hanabi Hyuga, but both Naruto and Erza made the enemy retreat and leave empty-handed. However, they found out that he had already kidnapped Highschool Hyuga, and they suspected that he had something to do with the moon getting closer to the planet. A team formed by Naruto, Erza, Sakura, Shikamaru and Sai headed to the moon or wherever the anomalies it was generating could be seen. After both Erza and Naruto entered a pool where there were several spheres that immersed them in a genjutsu showing the other's past, both Erza and Naruto understood each other's pain even more. They came up with the idea of healing that heart and filling it with pure happiness. After a fierce battle against Tonari, saving the planet and rescuing Highschool, our heroes went back home. During the journey, Naruto took Erza's hand and wouldn't let go. Together they ran through the tunnel of the spheres, seeing images of them these months and giving a promise that one would be for the other forever. Naruto carried Erza bridal style, and propelled by a Rasengan they left the pool, which then destroyed the roof until they could get out. Naruto, under the light of the moon, took Erza's face. She didn't know why, but she understood that she loved Naruto and apparently he loved her. I love you, Erza-chan, with all my heart. Erza shed a few tears of happiness. Her feelings were reciprocated. After that, they brought their faces closer together, sealing them in a tender kiss under the moonlight. Erza-chan, would you like to be my girlfriend? Of course, Naruto-kun. I love you too much not to be with you. Naruto shed a few tears. Here was the woman who accepted his feelings without hesitation, even though they had known each other for a relatively short time. He felt like he had known her all his life and loved her with all his heart. Arigato, Erza-chan. Naruto gave Erza a big hug. Arigato to you, Naruto-kun, for showing me what love is. Erza gave him a big kiss. She would never tire of her blonde's lips. After that, everyone found out that Erza and Naruto were officially in a relationship. The blonde's friends were happy for him. After everything he had been through, he deserved to be happy. Some of the blonde's fans weren't very happy about it, but he had no choice. But there's always someone who wants to ruin everything. 5 months after Erza's arrival in Konoha, Erza couldn't be happier. She had already been Naruto's girlfriend for more than 3 months, and she couldn't be happier. She secretly began to read the literary works that our blonde's godfather wrote, and had a small blush on her beautiful face when she heard the knock on the door. I'm going. Who's knocking so early? Erza approached to open the door. If you want, I asked an Anbu with a dragon mask. Excuse me, Erza-san, the council requests Naruto-sama's assistance immediately to discuss matters regarding his clan. Okay, I'm just informing you to get out of the shower. The Anbu just signed and Erza headed to the room where she saw Naruto already dressed. Naruto-kun, An Anbu came to inform me that the council wants to speak with you regarding clan matters. Now they'll want those fossils. Well, Erza-chan, you can come with me. Me, why? Erza was surprised to see why she wanted him to accompany her when she saw Naruto, who made a knowing face. Easy, I have to introduce you as my future wife and clan matriarch. Erza blushed since Naruto was practically proposing to her. Okay, Naruto-kun, then I'll wait for you downstairs. After a few minutes they both arrived at the council room in the Hokage Tower. Everyone wanted to take advantage of what was to come. Naruto entered the room and saw the 5 wealthiest civilian members with the clan leaders of the village in front were the Hokage Kakashi with his advisors Tsunade and Shizen. Naruto, we have received a letter from the Daimyo of Fire stating that you must get married as soon as possible, and that you are authorized to enter the RC program if you so wish to restore the Uzumaki clan as well as the Namikaze. Naruto found that strange. He didn't mind getting married. In fact, he was going to ask Erza to marry him at dinner this weekend, but he would have to move up his plans on the orders of the daimyo. Erza didn't like that they wanted to force her boyfriend to get married, and she didn't like the idea of the RC. She trusted Naruto but didn't want just anyone to want to take him away. Hi, Mr. Erasure, owner of most of the commercial premises in the northern area. Give you my daughter's hand in marriage if you so desire, Namikaze-sama. Naruto didn't like the direction this was taking. Not so fast. I can, owner of the town's wood exporting companies, give you my daughter's hand in marriage. As we were saying, Naruto didn't like where this was going, and Erza even less. No, I think Naruto-sama likes to accept any girl he doesn't know in marriage. That's why I proposed my daughter Ino Yamanaka to be married to Naruto. If it is the case that they do not know each other well, I propose my daughter Hanabi Hyuga in marriage to Mr. Naruto. Also, my daughter Hana is also interested in him, and would be a great wife for Naruto-sama. Soon the insults that came and went from all sides broke out. Naruto and Erza were irritating them while Kakashi and his advisors also saw it with a drop. Enough, I will only marry a person whom I love and she loves me, period end. So Naruto-sama, who would she be? Kakashi asked, trying to lighten the mood. There is no one else but my girlfriend Erza Scarlet, soon to be Uzumaki. Kumu. Everyone shouted. They knew Naruto was in a relationship but they didn't expect it to be so serious. Yes, if there is anyone I want as my wife it is her. But they are still boyfriend and girlfriend and the daimyo demanded that they should get married within the course of this week. There's no problem on that side. But since you ruined the surprise for me, I think I have to do it now. Everyone's eyes popped out as they saw Naruto kneel in front of Erza and he took out a red box. Erza began to cry with happiness. She was dreaming of her first boyfriend and true love. She was about to take the next step in her relationship. Erza, even though I know this wasn't the way I wanted to do it, I know you're the only one for me just like I know I'm only for you, and this isn't because they're forcing me. I had already thought about asking you out for dinner tomorrow. Naruto took a deep breath, searching for the words to continue. Erza kept looking at him with teary eyes. Could it be? Ever since I found you that time I felt a connection we had. I didn't know how to say it. I had heard the rumor that angels were falling from heaven, and when I saw you I thought that Kami had taken pity on me and sent me one of his angels to heal the pain I had in my heart. Those nights that I saw you cry I felt your sadness as mine, your happiness was mine, and that smile that you gave me lit and healed this heart. That's why even though it wasn't what I wanted, I want to ask you, Erza Scarlet, would you be my wife? Naruto opened the box, revealing a beautiful swirl-shaped ring with a gorgeous red diamond in the center. Erza couldn't stop crying. She held out her hand for Naruto to delicately place the ring on her finger. Some in the room were happy while some civilians watched as the best business they had ever made in their lives slipped away. Of course, Naruto-kun, I love you. I love you, yes, I want to be your wife. Erza bent down to his sides and gave him a big kiss, which slowly began to rise in tone until they heard a fake cough that made them locate where they were, so they separated. Okay, seeing that Naruto is already engaged, there is nothing more to discuss, so you can retire, and Naruto, congratulations, you deserve it. Thank you, sensei. Naruto saw how Kakashi gave him a thumbs up and a smile. You better take care of her, Geiki, and thank you, Erza, for loving this blockhead Naruto. Erza laughed at how Tsunade called her fiancé, while she heard a hey from Naruto. Don't worry, Tsunade-sama. I'll take care of him for life. That's nice to hear. You have my blessing. I hope you are very happy, and I want to see some little red and blonde heads running around here soon, driving everyone crazy. Both Naruto and Erza blushed at Tsunade's comment, while Erza already imagined seeing two children playing, a redhead and a blonde. While she carried a blonde and Naruto arrived and hugged her by the waist, giving her a kiss on the lips. Of course, Tsunade-sama. I'll soon put Naruto to work on that. For a moment he heard how the Baron's present had fainted from large nosebleeds thinking about what those two would do to work on that. Okay, a lot of information now. We will have to carry Naruto to his house. With that, Tsunade and Shizen followed by Erza carried Naruto towards the mansion. 6 months later. It's been 6 months since Erza's arrival in Konoha. Today the great love they had as a couple would finally be consummated. Today would be the most anticipated wedding in the elemental nations, the wedding of Naruto Uzumaki and Erza Scarlet, soon to be Erza Uzumaki. All of the blonde's friends attended, his teachers, acquaintances. The party was beautiful, it was Japanese style. Imagine the wedding at the end of Last Only instead of Hinata. It's Erza and Niji. At the end they upload a photo of Hinata. After a great wedding, the time came to say goodbye, and Naruto along with Erza went on their honeymoon to a vacation resort in the country of spring. 1 week after the wedding, after Naruto and Erza's return from their honeymoon, Naruto as a wedding gift rushed to finish the Hiraishin practices, and after hard work he got it. The big secret is that inside the handle there is also a receiving seal. That's why its technique was very complicated by requiring more than 2 types of seal in such a small space. After achieving it, and packing some essential things like money, Naruto knew that his coin would not be of use to him anymore, so he carried precious stones and gold. Erza's gifts, some weapons and a strawberry cake, and hidden he carried Jiraiya's books, clothes for both, some dresses and kimonos for Erza, about 3 changes of clothes for Naruto. After all, Naruto stored it in 3 different scrolls. He said goodbye to all his friends in case he could not return. Erza asked him to stay, that she didn't want her husband to lose his friends, commenting that he would always carry them in his heart, and that now she was his heart, and that if she was happy he would be. Erza loved her husband's corny things. After he said goodbye and received some ointments from Sakura to cure Naruto in case he was distracted, Erza sent a kunai from her husband to his pocket dimension. They said goodbye to everyone, and after Naruto took Erza by the waist and gave her a kiss, they disappeared in a yellow flash. Fairy Girl's Magnolia. We see a room surrounded by armor with a 3-pointed kunai in the middle. It looked like nothing. Only after a yellow flash Naruto Uzumaki and Erza Uzumaki appeared. Naruto, still with his hands on Erza's waist, separated from the kiss, and looked around to see some of the armor that his wife used placed on some mannequins. Erza still slowly opened her eyes when she saw that they were in the room where she kept her armor in her house. She wrapped her husband in a big hug of happiness. Her husband kept his promise, and now they were in her house. Come on, Naruto-kun, I want to introduce you to my friends and the teacher. I hope you are not so sad after not seeing me for more than 6 months. They'll be glad you're back, love. Let's go to your guild. Fairy Tale Gremio. Everyone was in the back crying, but a pink-haired boy was leaning on a black tombstone with the name Erza Scarlet. There was no exception. Everyone was hurt by Erza's death. A day passed when Natsu returned from the Akane resort with Happy, Lucy and Gray, all with very sad looks. After Natsu saw Erza disappear into the lacrima, he tried everything to save her. He practically destroyed the tower, but he couldn't find her or her body. They were very depressed. They spent 4 more days searching for any clue as to where she or her body was, but they found nothing. After they returned and discussed the news, everyone became depressed. Mara Jane in particular could not stop denying that her friend and rival was dead. She had already lost her sister to lose her. The next day they agreed to bury her even though they did not have a body. Just like Lisana, they were going to mark the place as Erza's resting place. There was the funeral, and the day seemed to understand their pain with a cloudy day with a chance of rain, but suddenly the sun came out when they heard a voice behind everyone. Now why do you all have that depressed face? What happened? Erza had appeared behind all the guild members after they saw that no one was in the clan room and went out to see everyone dressed in black. Erza, but as we saw how you disappeared, and no matter how much we searched we found no trace of you. Gray was surprised, as was everyone else. Now Natsu was crying, but out of joy he felt guilty for not saving Erza, but he saw that she was safe and sound. Everyone was already seeing the couple in front of them. Many were happy that Erza was safe and sound after realizing that someone was accompanying her and taking Erza's hand. There were many reactions. Some men were afraid, thinking that the poor young man was going to die, and others wanted to be able to touch the beautiful Titania without suffering the consequences. All the females present blushed deeply when they saw the blonde man who accompanied Erza. Naruto was dressed in a black shirt that was tight to his muscles and tight black pants, black boots. He also wore a red cape with black flames and his hair was combed back, highlighting his thinner face with his marks that the girls found very sexy. After the reactions, everyone rushed to hug Erza. The first to arrive and hug her were Natsu, Gray, Lucy, Happy and Mira. Everyone wrapped her in a big hug. Erza was no longer wearing her armor as she had before. Now she was only wearing a white blouse with a long blue skirt and black boots. When hugged by her friends, Naruto became a little jealous, but since he understood that they missed her, he was going to let it go for now. After they hugged their friend, they turned pale thinking that she was going to hit them for hugging her, but she showed them a very cute smile. I miss them too. More than 6 months have passed, and they tell how they have been. Erza, it's been like 6 months. It's only been 6 days since the last time we saw you in the tower. Lucy was worried about her friend. Where she was this time that felt like 6 months. Both Erza and Naruto opened their eyes very wide. 6 months couldn't be. That means that 6 days here were equivalent to 6 months in the elemental nations. This wasn't good at all. So that means that, Erza-chan, let me check something. Erza nodded, already knowing what her husband meant. She hoped she was wrong. No, damn it. Everyone was a little scared by the blonde's performance. The girls, seeing how Naruto expelled a part of his power, colored at his power that gave security and warmth. We will not be able to return to Konoha, the kunai that I left behind. I don't know how, but I can't feel it. I feel like I'm running or something like that. I don't think I'll ever be able to synchronize with it to be able to return to Konoha. Naruto had a sad look. His wife soon felt the same. Naruto, seeing what was causing it, went quickly to hug his wife. Don't worry, Erza-chan. We knew this could happen. It's a miracle that we were able to get to your house safe and sound. Don't be afraid of being sad. We knew this could happen. That's why we said goodbye to everyone. No, now take that face off and introduce me to your friends. Erza, after hearing her husband, smiled at him and took him by the arm and pulled him to where her guild mates were located. Guys, I want you to meet someone. He helped me find my way to where I ended up. His name is Naruto Uzumaki, and he's my husband. When I said husband, the girls got really jealous of the redhead, and so did some of the men. Nice to meet you. As Erza-chan said, I am her husband as well as she is my wife, and I come from another world where people are ninjas. I used to live in the village hidden among the leaves in the country of fire on a huge continent known as the Elemental Nations. Many people in the guild did not believe what they heard about the blonde, since he was from another world. All but one, the master approached to cordially greet the blonde. Nice to meet you, young Naruto. You will always have my eternal gratitude for having saved one of my sons. Makarov bowed politely in gratitude and respect. After hearing the master's thanks, everyone began to thank him. Thanks, Naruto, for taking care of our friend, but tell us what you mean by another world, Gray asked, while Natsu, when he heard ninja, covered himself with his scarf and began to want to act like a ninja. Naruto didn't know whether to feel praised or offended with the pink-haired boy's attitude. Well, after my 19th birthday, I went out for a walk in the forest outside the town, and there I saw Erza-chan fall from a hole that opened in the sky. After rescuing her, she stayed to live with me. Then we started dating. We became a couple, and a week ago we got married. My wedding gift was to bring her home, but I didn't think our worlds had such a difference in time. Everyone heard the story of how this boy managed to help his friend. Then when his words sounded true and with Erza's support, they believed the story of the new world. Thousands of questions began to arrive to the married couple, some annoying insinuations to Erza from Mira, a Natsu who said that he could teach her to be a ninja and that she would fight with him, and more. Calm down, guys, you can keep asking questions later. Now that we have the whole family together, it's time for everyone to celebrate. Sigh. Everyone shouted. After less than an hour they were very depressed. Now they had a reason to celebrate, and hopefully our blonde adapts to his new life in the most problematic guild of all, known as Fairy Tail. But having new friends won't be so difficult, especially since he has his beautiful wife who will be with him for the rest of their lives.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.